My lords, ladies and gentlemen, by the authority given in the statutes of the Open University, I declare this congregation open for the conferment of degrees, the presentation of graduates, and the installation of the Open University's 6th Chancellor. My name is Martin Bean, and I am the very, very proud Vice-Chancellor of the Open University, and it is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to this historic ceremony. We are delighted to welcome here today the Vice Lord Lieutenant of Buckinghamshire, the High Sheriff of Buckinghamshire, as well as representatives from other universities and organisations in the field of higher education, from government and public life, from voluntary organisations, and from industry, commerce, and even football. At the same time, we offer a very warm welcome to our graduates and your guests. It is also particularly pleasurable for me to welcome Mr. Neil MacGregor, who will be honouring with an honorary degree here today. Each year, the Open University awards over 14,000 degrees, and throughout 2014, more than 7,000 of the graduates are being presented for their qualifications at degree ceremonies such as this one today in Milton Keynes, our home. These are being held in 13 different towns and cities throughout the UK, as well as in Dublin, in Versailles, and in other places as far apart as Moscow, Bucharest, and Addis Ababa. And I think this really illustrates the extraordinary scale, scope, and reach of the Open University, underlining the fact that today you are joining a worldwide community of graduates. Now, it goes without saying that today is a very important occasion in the life of you, our graduates, your families and loved ones, as well as the university staff, who I hope you feel have nurtured and supported you, as well as an historic occasion for the Open University. Now, in thinking that it should be solemn, I'd like to just say this: you'd be quite wrong. So I will be very disappointed if anyone crosses the stage today to anything less than thunderous applause or whatever other means you choose to express your enthusiasm for our graduates' achievements. So we're going to do a little bit of a practice of that. Your first instruction of the day: graduates, can I please ask you to stand? All of our graduates, please stand. You're the ones in the butterfly robes. Very good. All right, this is our first time today to tell our graduates just how proud we are of them. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Graduates, please be seated. So let me tell you a little bit about how today's ceremony is going to work, because it's actually going to be a ceremony in 6 parts. To start the ceremony, graduates of the university who have gained a higher degree will be presented by Dr. Christina Lloyd, our Director of Teaching and Learner Support. And what you'll notice is those receiving their doctorates today will come join their colleagues in the academic community on the stage. Next, I will have the pleasure, along with the University Secretary, of installing Baroness Lane Fox of Soho as our new Chancellor. After the installation, graduates of the university who have gained a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering, and Bachelor of Laws will be presented to our new Chancellor, again by Dr. Lloyd. Dr. Lloyd, I just promoted you, I think. Dr. Lloyd. We will then see the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of the University to Mr. Neil MacGregor. Mr. Fraser Woodburn, the University Secretary, will present Mr. MacGregor, who will sign the honorary graduates book and make a reply. Then we will continue our presentation of graduates who have gained first degrees. Finally, to conclude the ceremony, our new Chancellor will give a personal address to the graduates. So away we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our degree ceremony. You're in for a wonderful morning, and at this stage I'd now like to call upon Dr. Lloyd to present higher degree graduates.
Vice-Chancellor, I shall now present graduates who have gained higher degrees and have been able to attend here today. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I present to you for a thesis entitled Mitigating Misclassification of Health Surveys, Neville Kaleha.
Hi Neville, how are you?
And for a thesis entitled Learning for Development Through Cooperation, the Engagement of Youth with Cooperatives in Lesotho and Uganda, Sally Hartley.
Hi Sally.
And for a thesis entitled Smooth Risk Functions for Self-Controlled Case Series Models, Jonas Velte Selassie.
Hi, Jonas.
I present to you, for the degree of Master of Arts in Childhood and Youth, Katalin Bondar.
Hi, Katalin.
Lisa Griffith.
Hi, how are you, Lisa? Good to see you.
For the degree of Master of Arts in History, I present Matthew Ford.
Hi, Matthew. How are you?
For the degree of Master of Arts in Social Sciences, I present Lynn Watkinson.
Yay!
For the degree of Business Administration, I present Lee Taylor.
Hey, Lee, how are you?
For the degree of Master of Education, I present Dawn Burden.
Hey, Dawn.
Francis Jones.
Hi, Francis.
For the degree of Master of Public Administration, I present Emma Field.
Hi, Emma. How are you?
For the degree of Master of Science in Forensic Psychology and Criminology, I present Andrew Hodgkinson.
Hi, Andrew.
Sajida Khan.
Hi, Sajida.
Granville Sutton.
Hi, Rebel. How are you?
For the degree of Master of Science in Mathematics, I present Howard Henson.
Hey, Howard.
And for the degree of Master of Science in Psychological Research Methods with distinction, I present Alice Steamson.
Members of the congregation, in accordance with the decision of the Council and the Senate, the Vice-Chancellor will conduct the Chancellor here for the installation. Please all stand for the Chancellor's procession. Vice-Chancellor, colleagues, graduates and guests, our new Chancellor, Martha Lane Fox, is an extraordinary woman with seemingly limitless supply of energy when it comes to promoting digital innovation and its benefits for humankind. Best known as co-founder of lastminute.com, Europe's largest travel and leisure website, Martha is constantly working to unleash the incredible power of technology to transform and improve the way we live, work, and study. Martha is active in the charity sector, serving as a founding trustee of Reprieve, a charity aligned with our own commitment to prisoners. Reprieve works around the world to enforce the human rights of prisoners and the right to a fair trial, providing legal support to those who have no means to pay for it. Reprieve's lawyers were among the first into Guantanamo Bay, working with 65 prisoners who have since been freed. She also acts as a patron for CampFed and Just for Kids Law. Martha was severely injured in a car accident in 2004, an event that still affects her today, but one that enabled her to see even more clearly that technology can truly help to improve lives. Her boundless enthusiasm for the internet is fueled by its effect at a very personal level, enabling her to carry on her life by opening up the world through a screen, even on those days when health challenges loom large. In 2009, Martha was appointed the British government's UK Digital Champion. For more than 4 years, Martha helped to address the digital divide, working to ensure that people throughout the UK have equal access to the same opportunities that those of us with easy internet access take for granted. Working with a team of experts from a range of organisations, Martha helped to create better education, health, government and social opportunities for the most socially excluded people in the UK, ensuring that emerging policies on digital technology work for all in society. As well as influencing policy, she also drives practical things. Martha has served on the board of the Cabinet Office Efficiency and Reform Group, which aims to make government more streamlined. Her strategic review of DirectGov, now gov.uk, the government's key website, was published in 2010, recommending the simplification and strengthening of online government to improve the quality and consequently the use of online channels to aid both citizens and government. In 2012, she launched a charity, Go On UK, which aims to plug the digital skills gap amongst British adults. In 2013, she was the youngest woman ever to be appointed to the House of Lords. In her spare time, what spare time, you may wonder, Martha is a co-founder of Lucky Voice Karaoke and holds non-executive director positions at Marks and Spencer's and Channel 4 Television, and is helping to finance the Women's Prize for Fiction. Martha works tirelessly using a powerful combination of business skills and knowledge of how to apply internet technology, improving the prospects of people in the UK and beyond. She is passionate about inclusion, enabling the most disadvantaged in society to achieve their ambitions and dreams, aims that will stand her in excellent stead for her newest role. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you as the Chancellor of the Open University, Martha Lane Fox.
Chancellor of the Open University.
Chancellor, we now come to the part of today's ceremony that marks the presentation of graduates who have gained a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Laws and have been able to attend here today. The full subject and classification details are printed in the Directory of Graduates. I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Arts with First Class Honours, Kyle Abbott. Gloria Hall. Nicholas Huntley Wilsoner. Rihanna Kamal. Judith Parsons. Claire Saunders. Janet Walker. Lydia Zaharieva. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, I present Demet Agdogan Masterson. Sharon Banks. Sheila Barker. Stephen Barry. Bex Barton. Rachel Beach. Hazel Benfell. Rajiv Bhargava. Selina Bai. Alistair Banks. Black. Susan Broccoli. Nina Cassidy. Joanne Coleman. Claire Cornford. Kelly Dennis. Rebecca Elliott. Nathan Facey. Jennifer Farrington. Sinead Fletcher. Stephen George. Gabby Google. Janet Hack. Emily Hackinson. Janice Houchin. Alison Judd. Vin Kenny. Alan Killick. Georgina King. Tanika Lacroix. Joanne Lees. Stephen Mason. Heidi McCafferty. Anne Morris. Catherine Pearce. Sarah Reeves. Peter Reynolds. Beverly Robbins. Jane Scorer.
Well done, Jane.
Benjamin Skirving. Gary Smith. Philip Stevens.
This is his second degree, so that is a double factor.
Isabella Tellis Kent. Jean Thomas. Sarah Thompson. Alan Toombs. Robert Venning. Audrey Watts. White. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, I present Caroline Beale. George Campbell. Joanne Colton. Dorothy Evans. Tanya Garrett. Kirsty Green. Eleanor Jones. Nicola Langridge. Maria Lear. Samantha McLean. Lana Race. Natasha Rabul. Maxine Reed. Zena Gosling. For the degree of Bachelor of Laws, Nicola Maristani.
Chancellor, colleagues, graduates and guests. Each of us is shaped by our experience of life, the people we meet, the places we go, the things we hear and see. For our honorary graduate, that list of influences is topped by the unlikely pairing of Salvador Dali and Glasgow City Council. In the early 1950s, the council acquired a Dali painting and put it on display at Kelvin Grove Art Gallery. Among the crowds who flocked to view was a young Neil MacGregor. What he saw proved so moving, so inspirational, that it would eventually turn him away from a planned career in the law and set him on a path that led him to become the man in charge of the British Museum. But that path was far from direct. Born in Glasgow, Neil studied French and German at Oxford, then philosophy in Paris, before heading to Edinburgh to study law. He was called to the Scottish bar, the legal one, that is. But perhaps still thinking of that Dali painting, he knew that his true calling lay in the world of art. After picking up his master's at Courtauld Institute, where the director called him the most brilliant pupil he ever taught, Neil taught history of art at the University of Reading before spending 6 years editing Burlington Magazine. In 1987, he became the director of the National Gallery, where he was so popular with staff that he became known as Saint Neil, a nickname that I understand sticks with him to this day. After 16 years, he left to take up the reins at arguably the world's greatest cultural collection, the British Museum. When he arrived, the venerable Bloomsbury institution was in steep decline. Visitor numbers were down, morale was low, and the museum was 5 million in the red. But Neil turned it round. His infectious love for art and history shined through in everything from headline-grabbing exhibitions to the radio smash hit that was A History of the World in 100 Objects. It's that passion for bringing the past alive that we are honouring today. Where others see a dry, dusty antique, Neil sees a fascinating part of an individual's life story. Where others see a black and white image of times gone by, Neil sees a vibrant, colourful link to the present. 60 years ago, the forward-thinking directors of a Scottish gallery inspired a small boy to take up a career that has touched so many lives. I'm sure that half a century from now, directors of museums and galleries around the world will be proud to say that they were inspired by the forward-thinking work of the man you see here today. Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of the University, Neil MacGregor.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Secretary, I should like to start by thanking you for the great honour you do me in allowing me to join not just the ceremony this morning, but the family of the Open University. And it has, I think, felt very like a family occasion all morning. I can't be the only person who, as we were standing waiting for the Chancellor to appear, to feel that it was slightly like a wedding. And I could feel on my left and right growing panic that had she changed her mind. And the audible sigh from behind when the doors opened and the trumpets began. It's quite a thought to appear on a platform after Martin Bean and Martha Lane Fox. Martin Bean, your Vice-Chancellor, as you know, not just the voice of Australia, but for decades before that, the spirit of software. And now, of course, very sadly, leaving Britain and returning to Australia. There have been rumours in the Australian press that this is connected with the imminent retiral of Barry Humphries. And the need to find a successor. And I think we would all agree that she's going to be a very worthy successor from what you've seen this morning. But Martin is, of course, a great symbol of what the Open University was about. His extraordinary background in software, in transmitting knowledge to the world, made him the perfect person to lead this university. And that, of course, is true even more so of our new Chancellor. Martha Lane Fox has for long, of course, been Miss Digital, or Baroness Digital, as we must now learn to call her. But it came as something of a discouraging discovery this morning to find out that she's also a karaoke champion. And I can't be the only person who felt watching this morning that this woman has clearly been presenting degrees all her life. There can be very few people who at any degree ceremony would dare to say to a graduand, "Have you got 9 children?" And then when the answer came no, saying, "Oh, well, congratulations anyway." And she is, of course, an even greater symbol of why this university is like no other in the world. All universities are institutions that teach and give degrees. The Open University is something else. As well as that, it's an idea. And it's a great idea that in the 1970s was quite clearly going to change the world. And it has. The ideal of learning being made available to the widest number of people in whatever circumstances has caught the imagination of the world. You heard earlier about the degree ceremonies all around the world. It's an institution that's been copied everywhere. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so honoured and delighted to have been invited to be part of it. The British Museum was created by Parliament in the middle of the 18th century as the Open University of the day. London, biggest city in Europe, had no university because Oxford and Cambridge had so successfully plotted and legislated to stop a university in London. And so Parliament created a free museum and a free library that was to be open, free of charge, to anybody, native or foreign. It was the beginning of an idea of what a British citizen should be, somebody with access to information that would enable them then to play a full part in society. It's an idea that was reflected, carried on in the creation of the BBC, and, of course, in the internet, that free access should be everybody's right, native or foreign, a worldwide idea of which the Open University is a part. That's an idea that needs defending and needs both proclaiming and protecting. And I believe very strongly that the Open University is one of the great achievements of our country and one that will certainly continue to flourish. But there's another reason why I'm particularly pleased and honoured to be here today. There's been a great deal of talk about the pursuit of learning, and we've all admired and applauded those who have got their degrees today. I'd like to add my warmest congratulations to all of you. I not only admire the fact that you've managed to complete the degrees, but that you've managed, most of you, so many of you, to do it with other commitments and other claims on your time. That is an astonishing achievement, and I would like to congratulate you very warmly. For me, the pursuit of learning never was quite like that. It was always much more a scramble for learning. And most of my life, it seems, I've been doing my homework on the bus. And that's why I was particularly delighted to discover that I was going to be given my degree this morning by somebody who made her reputation in lastminute.com. And this is, in every sense, my university. Secretary, you were very kind in your comments on the British Museum's programme, A History of the World in 100 Objects. What I feel I'm part of today, looking at the audience, is a history of the future in 170 graduates. And I'd like to give them my very best wishes. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, we will now continue with the presentation of graduates who have gained a first degree and have been able to attend here today. I present for the degree of Bachelor of Science with First Class Honours, Lydia Boosfield. Darren Cooper. Michael Dibble. Laura Gray. Maxine Kehoe. Anita Kozlodoy. Emma Mills. Simon Noble. Nicola Strange. Dora Taylor. Diane Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, I present Uba Alim. Lorna Alvaranga. Neil Ans. Edward Attridge. Matthew Bradshaw. Matthew Butler. Bruce Carthew. Benhilda Chiromo. Sebastian Chaka. Edward Davis. Kevin Day. Julie Gillam. Laxmi Kanjina. Owen Graham. Irvin. Katrina Jones. Kieran Jones. William McGee. Stuart McQuillan. Yvette Medry. Kirsten Morgan. Rebecca Palmer. Sandeep Rai. Ram Rasaya. Claire Ridley. Jane Rowe. Joanne Rutherford. Jennifer Saunders. Stephen Stasiak. Abby Louise Stokes. Kim Sullivan. Emily Taylor Mathers. Samara Walker. Stephanie Willis. Tracy Worthington. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, I present Christine Elliott. Chantel Gibbard. Charleston Kwanzura. Leslie Johnson. Cherie Jones. Christina Moldovan. Jasdeep Panesar. For a foundation degree, I present Claire Barnes. Paul Blackwell. Darren Bluck. Sophie Boucher. Patricia Bundy. Bev Carlin. Michelle Clark. Christina Downing. Samantha Edgar. Zoe Foy. Jacqueline Frost. Georgina Haddon. Lucy Judkins. Hannah Kingham. Claire Leonard. Leanne Ray. Kate Rayner. Kelly Marie Thomas Morgan. Tara Wallace. And for the Diploma of Higher Education, I present Janine Gibson. Kerry Hibbert. Diana Johnson. And Anna Quick.
Well, that was fantastic. I am over the moon to be your new Chancellor. I was trying to think of the right words, and they were the words that sprang to me when I've been thinking about this. I really feel a deep honour and a privilege, and I hope that although this is your ceremony and your day, you'll give me just a few minutes to say a few more personal things, because this is an extremely special occasion for me as well as for you. Firstly, I'd like to say some thank yous to the Open University Senate and the Council for entrusting me with this incredible duty and privilege. To Martin particularly, who is just the most spectacular Vice-Chancellor, and his energy and enthusiasm for this university is quite phenomenal. Whenever I see him, he's smiling and bouncing along, and if I can be half as energetic as him, then I'll feel as though I'm doing all right. So I really profoundly thank Martin. And then and a couple more personal thank yous. Firstly, to my mum, who's sitting in the front row. She loves it when I do this. I'm not going to make her stand up. Who actually was the first person through which I encountered the Open University, because she did a psychology degree, and I met many psychology graduates this morning. Where are we? I'm confused. So I'd like, as always, to send my mum so much love and thank her for first opening my eyes to this amazing organisation. And secondly, my dad, who's also sitting in the front row. He has given his entire life to teaching students, and it's from him that I take the very important role of being Chancellor, even more seriously perhaps than people who hadn't had that background. He has put students at the heart of his life for nearly 40 years, has just retired this year, and I don't think there are very many professors in Oxford who could have encouraged students that they taught 15, 20 years ago to come back and help them clear out his room. But that's what he's been doing. So can we have a round of applause for my very special friend? And finally, I'd just like to reassure, they're not here, but I said to a young godchild of mine about 2 weeks ago that this was happening and I was taking on this role. And she looked at me and she just said, "But you don't know anything about banks." And I reassured her that I was not going to become Chancellor of the UK, but just of the Open University. The country is safe-ish. But there are other reasons to feel completely delighted about the role, and I'd just like to touch on a couple. Firstly, as both Neil kindly said, and Martin and Fraser in the introductions, I have tried my whole life to put technology at the heart of what I do, and open it up to as many people as possible. With lastminute.com, we were battling to make people believe that the internet was going to exist, let alone actually people use it to buy things. We fought and fought in meetings and to get money, and with people to really encourage them that the internet was here to stay. And it set me on a journey that I still, I hope, carry on right to this minute, trying to encourage people that technology can help them in their daily lives. And I've seen again and again the incredible impact that technology can have. People who've looked me in the eye and said they have quite literally had their lives saved, their depression reduced, their access and their connectedness to their worlds opened up when they've got online. And that's one of the reasons that this university is so special, because right at the beginning, at the heart of it, was this idea that technology could help open up the world's information, that it could create a level playing field. I cannot stress enough how much that's a value that I put very seriously at the heart of my own working life, and I hope can make sure that the Open University has that message more broadly outside these walls. But there's another reason that the Open University is particularly special to me, and that's because of the absolutely awesome women that have been involved in its journey. Please don't repeat this. I've met you, most of you now, so I know I can trust you. But in the House of Lords, there is a fabulous Baroness called Betty Boothroyd, who I'm sure many of you are aware of. She's in her late 80s now, but she's still a force of nature, and she's an independent peer like me. And as the first few months of being there, I followed her around like a small puppy, desperate to have a reason to talk to her. And then when Martin asked me if I'd be interested in taking up this extraordinary position, it gave me a reason to talk to Betty, because she had been Chancellor too before me. So we had a cup of tea, and with her normal vim, she looked me straight in the eye. She said, "Look, it's very simple. Don't meddle. Focus on the students." And it was brilliant advice, and she's right, because this university is all about the students, and one of the few universities in the world where you get that individual tutorial care. But there's another woman who was also part of the journey at the Open University that some of you may not be aware of. And her name was Jenny Lee. And she was an extraordinary politician in the 60s. And one of the buildings is actually named after her in the main campus. You may know that. She fought very hard to get the Open University idea. It was called the University of the Air at that point. The Air, it's lovely, isn't it? To be put into a Labour manifesto and then become policy. And she wrote a paper in 1966 that I'm just going to quote to you because it sums up why you should be so proud of your achievement and why I feel very proud to be standing here. She said in her original white paper that there is no question of offering to students a makeshift project inferior in quality to other universities. That would defeat its purpose. So right at the beginning of this extraordinary organisation's genesis, there was a woman fighting to make sure it had absolutely equal academic standards to any other university in the country, in fact better. So all of you here should feel immensely proud of yourselves, because that's still true today. And I was thinking, what can I say to you? Because you are already so remarkable, as we could hear from some of the very quick stories I gathered on stage. Nurses, women with 9 children, people working in the Air Force, people working as teachers, people working in ICT. I had everything handed to me on a plate and was given the most incredible opportunities for education. You have fought and worked hard to get where you are today, and I really do salute you. So I think it's time for one more big whoop and a cheer. I know that some of you were studying Shakespeare over the Sunday roast, or you were thinking about chemistry on your commute, or you were doing essays during your lunch break, and it's not easy. And there are a huge number of people in this hall who've supported you in doing that. They have clapped you, they've whooped for you, they've wolf whistled for you. Some of you, I think, must have been in training. So I think it's time that we give them a round of applause and say thank you for all the help that they've given us. To the families. Thank you to the friends and to the families. So, all I ask of you is to carry on your remarkable journeys. You've already proved that you can do incredible things with tenacity, determination. You can start courses, some of you in the 1970s, and end up in 2014 getting a degree. Then many, many things are possible. Some things that you never thought would happen might be offered to you, and you should grab them with both hands. I've never had a plan in my working life. It's been kind of serendipity. But I think if you can just open your eyes to all of the possibilities and look around and feel bold, then you guys have the possibility to really change the world. And you know what? Right now, we need you. Because I would argue things aren't going so well. We have an economy that is in a bit of a pickle. We have an environment that is in danger of throwing us off our stride. We have enormous challenges in health, social care, across many different axes, around the world, locally, at a national level. And we need brilliant people like you who can innovate and help and encourage. So please, take what you've learned. Don't stop. You're already on a journey. You're already amazing and extraordinary. Please continue. Because I'm betting on you. Neil said it in his remarks as well. We need all of these brains to be aimed at some of the challenges that we face. And it's not easy. So I just want to end with some more words from Jenny, who is definitely my new heroine. Sorry, Betty. She was laying the foundation stone for the building that is on the main campus that's named after her. And interestingly, it was laid in the year of my birth, 1973. So I feel a connection to Jenny. And she said, "Oh, pioneers," that's you. "Here is a great independent university which does not insult any man or any woman from any background by offering them second best. Nothing but the best is good enough. You're the best. Go out and do even better." Thank you. So, with all of the graduates of today, please stand. And can I ask us all just once more to express our incredible congratulations and warmest wishes to all of them. Well done. So the proceedings of this degree ceremony are now completed, and I declare this meeting of the congregation closed. But all those who are able to stand, please do so. Thank you.